Okay, so hopefully if you're watching this video, you've read the book, and because you've read the book, you definitely know the average table. So we're going to solve this with the average table, which means we're going to start with the number of numbers times the average equals the sum, right? This is familiar to all of you, I'm sure. In this case, how we're going to fill this in with the information from the question, the number of numbers is going to be the number of games, right? So there's B games that Maurice's team has played. They've averaged 60 points per game, so the total points they've scored on those B games is 60B, right? Then they play 4 more games, and they really play much better, apparently. 84 points per game, wowzers. So the sum of the points they scored in those 4 games is 4 times 84. Check your calculator, that is 336. And now what we need to know is if that changed their overall average to 72, what is B? Well, alright, so how many games did they play in total? Well, they played B plus 4 games. And we know that their average over those B plus 4 games is 72. Now, pay attention here. This is really important, and this is the key to really hard average questions on the SAT. There are 2 ways for us to fill in this space here. We can either add down this column, right? Because we did B plus 4, we can do 60B plus 336. We're going to do that over here. 60B plus 336. Or we can do multiply across the bottom row B plus 4 times 72, right? And those have to equal each other because this box is this box. It's got to equal itself, right? So 60B plus 336 is one way to fill in that box. The other way to fill it in is B plus 4 times 72. And now we have an equation. We can solve it for B, right? So let's distribute on the right. We got 60B plus 336 equals 72B plus 72 times 4 is 288. And then we're going to do a little combining of like terms, right? So 336 minus 288 is going to be 48. And 72B minus 60B is going to be 12B. Okay. Well, to find B then, all we need to do is divide 48 by 12, and that's 4. So 4 equals B. Now, if B is 4, then there might have been another way to look at this, and here's the shortcut, right? So the average table is important to practice, that's why I showed you it first. The shortcut is, if you went from an average of 60 to an average of 84 in 4 extra games, and that moved your total average to 72, which if you note is right smack between 60 and 84, well, that means that B must be 4, right? Because if you've got the same number of games for 60 average score and 84 average score, then naturally your average for all those games would be right in the middle, 72. Just like if you played one game and scored 60 and one game and scored 84, you'd have an average over those 2 games of 72. So the shortcut is, if you recognize it, that going from an average of 60 and then playing 4 games with an average of 84, and that moves you right up to smack between 84 and 60, 72, that kind of tells you right away, if you're really, really paying attention, that B has to be 4. The safe way to go, of course, is just do the average table and do the algebra. It doesn't take that long. But because I like to point out little shortcuts, especially in these bonus videos, there's the shortcut. All right? Cool.